the bunny back in the box.
Starring, amongst others, Ryan Reynolds, Morena Baccarin, TJ Miller, Julian Dennison and Josh Brolin. Directed by David Leitch off of a screenplay by Rhett Reese, Paul Werrick and Ryan Reynolds. This is my review for Deadpool 2.
And that is why Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants is pure pornography.
Oh, God, I wish I finished college.
The first Deadpool movie is one that I enjoyed a lot. It made me laugh a lot, but I have some issues with its story. The second Deadpool is one I enjoyed a lot, I laughed a lot, but I've got some issues with its story. There's not a huge amount in it between these two movies for me. It's this one I do feel is the weaker of the two, and that's just mainly down to some decisions it makes with the story. But before we get to things like that, let's start with what's good about this one. And first of all, Ryan Reynolds. He is Wade Wilson. He is this character. He embodies Deadpool so much that it is much like Hugh Jackman with Wolverine. It's almost impossible. In fact, with Deadpool, it is impossible to think of anybody else that could do this role as well as Reynolds does. There's nobody. Every facet of this character he completely owns. He understands him. He gets him. He is Deadpool. And more so, I think, in this one than the first one, he embodies this character perfectly. That's not to say it wasn't a perfect performance in the first Deadpool, because it was, but it just feels like he's grown even more comfortable with him. He's grown even more to understand what it is that makes this character tick. Also good are the jokes. This film, I don't think it's as consistently funny as Deadpool 1. Like, it has a few more misses on the gag scale than it did there, but when the jokes really hit, when they really work, they are even funnier than they were before. There are so many moments here, and by the way, the end credit scene for this movie is, I think, my favourite end credit scene or mid credit scene in any movie I've ever seen. Like, whatever you do, don't miss it. Stay. There's not one at the end, as far as I know. If there is, I missed it. But the one middle of the credits, incredible. But yeah, there's so many jokes here that just I miss bits of the film because I was laughing so much at what had just happened. There's an incredible set piece involving the X-Force that I won't ruin here, but it took me completely by surprise, and it's a long running joke, but it manages to be continually funny throughout. Like, it doesn't let up during this one set piece, and yeah, easily a highlight of the film. Another highlight other than Reynolds, and there's quite a few highlights here, but Julian Dennison, you may have seen him in The Hunt for the Wilder People. If you've not seen The Hunt for the Wilder People, what are you doing? Go watch that film. It's great. He is fantastic here. As an actor, the character I have some problems with, but the actual actor himself, he's so good as Russell. So good. And then there's Josh Brolin. And what a few weeks to be Josh Brolin. Not only does he get to be Thanos in what is likely to be one of the biggest movies ever made, he then gets to come in Deadpool 2 and be Cable. And I don't know, it's difficult to say which performance is better. I mean, it's probably Thanos, in all honesty, but he gives it a real good go with Cable. Cable is a great character here. You understand his motivations and his needs to be doing what he's doing. And just to quickly touch on the plot, Cable is here to stop the death of his family, and his family will be killed in the future by Russell. And he comes back to this point in time where Russell is now a child that's befriended-ish Wade Wilson, and he plans to kill him. And that's how the conflict starts. That's the basis for this plot. There's a few other bits here and there, but that's really what it boils down to. And yeah, Josh Brolin is perfect. Again, like Reynolds, he's perfectly cast in the role of Cable. And if we do get a Deadpool 3, he has to be in it. Absolutely has to be. But really, it's the story that let this down somewhat. And don't get me wrong, this is a good film. Like, I enjoyed it a lot. I can't wait to get it on Blu-ray so I can watch it again. But the story it suffered from a lot of problems. I mean, the first of which is that it's basically Terminator. And they acknowledge that in the film. Like, that doesn't go unnoticed by the writers, but just because it's acknowledged doesn't do it any favours. It doesn't help it out that much. It's still not a carbon copy, but it borrows a lot of the same beats from it. It doesn't feel original in any way. And a character of Russell as well, as much as I love the performance by the actor, it's very hard to keep up with what's going on in this kid's head. We don't get a huge amount of time to understand what he's going through and to see his perspective on things. He seems to just sway from one side to the other quite a lot, and that can be a little bit distracting. It almost feels like it needed another pass over in the script just to iron out little bits like that. Same too with the ending, and it's hard to talk about the ending without spoiling anything, and I won't spoil anything at all. But characters act, in a sense, in a weird way. Like, they act in ways that I wouldn't expect them to act. And maybe I'll do something spoilery on here at some point, but not in this video. But yeah, Deadpool, he does something that I just fundamentally didn't think Deadpool would do, and I still don't understand why he did. And the same with Cable. It's almost like they've reached a certain point, but we haven't really seen how they've got to that point, if you see what I mean. If you've seen the film, you probably know what I mean. But yeah, I had a few issues with that too. There's also some characters that fall by the wayside a little bit. TJ Miller's character doesn't get a lot to do, and I can't help but wonder if that's because of what's going on in his personal life at the minute, and some of the things he's done, like the bomb threats and things. I don't know whether his role's been trimmed or not, but yeah, it's noticeable that he kind of pops in and out of the film rather than sort of staying about for the duration. The same to Negasonic Teenage Warhead. I loved that character in Deadpool 1. Absolutely loved her, and she is in this, and she does have a love interest, and that's very sweet and it's very funny, the way they use her love interest, especially her interactions with Deadpool. But the character's barely in it. It'd be interesting to watch this again to see how long Negasonic is in this, because it doesn't feel like a huge amount of time, and that's a shame, because as I say, I really, really liked her, and I wanted to see more. I wanted to see that character grow. So she's sort of there for the big bits, but she doesn't really get a lot to do in her own time. She's a bit player in this film, and that surprised me and it disappointed me a little bit. Thankfully, that's not the case with Colossus. Colossus is once again a delight. He was a surprise for me in the first one. I remember seeing the footage of him in the trailer and thinking he could be cool. I wasn't expecting him to be hysterically funny, and he was, and he is again. I think he gets more to do in this one than he did before, and yeah, it's great. There's some wonderful moments in here with that character and his interactions with Deadpool and their friendship / not friendship, and watching that develop. They get some good moments together, and it's great to see. That's another character I'd like to see expanded on more if we do get a Deadpool 3. I almost forgot to mention the action sequences here, which would be criminal of me because they are so good. One particular part, and it's the bit in the trailer, you know, where Deadpool's trying to knock the bullets away. It's in that sequence, and it involves Domino and Deadpool and Cable, and it's so well done. It's such a visually stunning sequence. The director of this is one of the directors of John Wick, which, by the way, is referenced amazingly in the opening credits for this film. Keep an eye out for them again, because once again they're brilliantly done. And yeah, it shows how well this guy is, how well this guy's developing at doing action sequences, from John Wick to Atomic Blonde to this. He knows how to craft something and make it just awe-inspiring with how cool it looks. And once again, he delivers that with Deadpool 2. As for Domino, by the way, I should have mentioned her earlier because she is such a cool character. I don't know if we've got plans to see her again. I hope we do. She would be perfect in an X-Force movie, which I believe is coming. She should be in that. If not, I hope we see her in Deadpool 3, because we didn't get a huge amount of time to get to know her, to get to know what this character's about. But from what I've seen of her, she's great. We need to see her again. So yeah, if you liked or loved the first Deadpool, you're going to like or love this one too. It doesn't break the mold in any way. It sticks to the same Deadpool formula that works really well. It's still very self-referential. It still breaks the fourth wall in some brilliant ways, and it's, most importantly, still incredibly funny. It's just, yeah, it feels like it tries to do a little bit too much. Like, it tries to explore Deadpool and more Wade Wells, actually. It tries to explore him a lot more than the character of Deadpool, which is fine, but I don't know, something about this just didn't work for me when it came to the actual main plot of this story. Something didn't connect. But purely on an entertainment level, purely just sitting there and hoping to see funny and stupid things that will make me laugh, absolutely, Deadpool 2 had that in spades. I'm going to give Deadpool 2 an 8 out of 10. Have you seen Deadpool 2? If so, what did you think of it? Let me know in the comments below. You can also get in touch with me on Twitter at JoePJulians. Feel free to like this video, hit that thumbs up button just below. That actually hurts a little bit. You can hit subscribe as well, that'd be great. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Thank you very much for watching.